a strange and gigantic metallic artifact found in the remote Red Rock Cove of Utah. This is all things creepy. Let's begin. So recently, what can only be described as some kind of monolith was discovered in the remote areas of Utah, and it was stumbled upon completely by accident. Biologists were documenting the number of bighorn sheep, and on one of these long helicopter journeys they noticed something. It was big, it was shiny, and it definitely wasn't a sheep. Naturally, this discovery was reported and immediately investigated. Upon initial inspections, the object appears to be around 12 feet in total length and embedded into the ground. The exact metal is not yet known, however, it's clearly a highly refined heavy metal. This isn't some naturally occurring ore. It's also important to note that the object appears to have been embedded into the ground, not dropped from a large height. And just in case you think this is photoshopped, here is official video footage showing Utah officials interacting with the artifact.
Okay. Who does this kind of stuff? Yeah.
It's interesting how it comes right. It's right at.
As always, a link to the full video will be in the description below. The immediate reaction to this is of course one of awe. This is possibly something beyond our comprehension, so it's not too absurd for people to jump to the conclusion of aliens. However, pause for a moment. This so-called monolith draws an uncanny resemblance to the 1968 film 2001: A Space Odyssey, in particular a scene with monkeys. It's very well known. I think they might be apes, but still, there is a monolith that resembles this one quite closely. Therefore, the current understanding is that this is most likely an artist drawing inspiration from that movie and clearly having a lot of time on their hands, driving out into the middle of nowhere with a pretty big piece of metal and planting it in the ground. Considering this is the first time the object has actually been noticed, and that 2001: A Space Odyssey came out in 1968, there's no telling just how long this has been out there. And I think it's quite amusing to imagine some wacky artist back in the late 60s sticking this out there after seeing the movie and basically just leaving it there and hoping someone will see it. Who knows what he or she was thinking. We can safely assume that whoever did this had at least some financial strength. Not only would it be extremely expensive to transport something so heavy out there, but the material itself would be extremely expensive. Heavy metal is not cheap on this planet or any others. And that leads us nicely into the alternative hypothesis, that this is not man-made, this is alien, or something we don't understand at the very least. Now, of course, that is entirely possible, and we won't know for sure until we get some analysis on the exact material, but I think 2001 really shuts that down. The similarities are just too hard to ignore. It's also important to mention that doing this is illegal. You need permission, right? So, looks like these aliens are going to be doing some hard time. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I personally would find this a pleasant surprise to my day, especially if I was counting sheep, literally. That can't be the most entertaining career, but I bet the ancient aliens guy was really jealous when he read about this. But anyway, like the video if you did, share it with a friend, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe for more big, shiny content.